Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So recently on one of my Burst versus Plastic Gen videos, I got a comment asking to do Spriggan Requiem and to see what happens. So I decided to do exactly that. So I was going to hold off on this because the only one that I had was new in box, and I didn't really want to open it, but I finally ended up caving. So this is brand new. So yep, there goes the value of that one. Now, I'm not a reseller, so I guess it doesn't really matter, but it is kind of nice to have things new in box every once in a while. So I don't know, maybe eventually I'll get the gold one. But yeah, today we're doing Spriggan Requiem versus Plastic Gen. So Spriggan Requiem was a very hyped release on launch, and for good reason. It's both left and right spin, and it's got rubber on it for spin stealing or equalization. And it's pretty cool. It did really well at tournaments. It was a meta part for a long time. We won't be using the stock combo because honestly I don't think the driver or the disc is going to do a whole lot for it. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we're going to be putting this up against. So this is Flame Rose, and I recently did a poll on the channel asking which one you guys thought would win out of the two, and I was a bit surprised by the results. So as many Plastic Gen fans that I have on this channel, I honestly kind of thought that Flame Rose would win the popular vote just by default, but surprisingly, Requiem actually got more votes. So Requiem does have a pretty substantial weight variance off of Flame Rose. So I did decide to do a custom combo for Requiem, so we swapped to a bearing driver just because I think it'll do better on this, and we scaled back the disc a bit to try to equalize the weight a little bit between the two Beyblades, and this is a little bit closer. So I did get some comments asking what Flame Rose was. It is a custom combo that I ended up recycling for my favorite Bit Beast from the Game Boy Color game. This is the first Beyblade video game, predates the anime and the manga, and is the first piece of Beyblade media. This predates everything. Flame Rose never got printed, so this is a combo that I made for the character. And to make this video as fair as possible, we're going to be doing every spin direction. So we will be doing same spin, left versus right, and right versus left on both Beyblades to see how they fare. So the first matchup will have Spriggan in right spin and Flame Rose in left spin. So for those of you who have not seen any of the Flame Rose videos, I'll quickly explain the combo. So it is on a bearing tip with fairly good LAD. It is in left spin for equalization. Again, this is left versus right now. We will end up doing right versus left, switching the spin direction on both Beyblades, just because neither of them are symmetrical going both ways. So this first round is relatively close, and it ends in a tie. I think you could maybe argue it went to Flame Rose if you really wanted to slow down the footage, but I'll just call it a tie. So for those of you that, again, aren't super familiar with Plastic Gen, the Flame Rose combo is basically an assortment of like 5 different Beyblades. There's a pretty vast amount of customization with Plastic Gen, and I went out of my way to make the entire combo red just to match the Bit Beast. And if you guys want to check out the other videos with Flame Rose, at the end of the video I'll have a link to a playlist for my Plastic Gen stuff, and you guys can find that in there if you guys want to check it out. So again, while this round is pretty close, Flame Rose takes it. It's just, I think the big deciding factor here is just that the Flame Rose combo just has better LAD. So Flame Rose gets a KO here, so we're going to go ahead and change the spin direction on Spriggan. So they are same spin, they will both be moving in left spin. So Spriggan gets a win here. I think the advantage in same spin is A, that Spriggan's heavier, so it takes center easier, and B, it's a little bit taller, so it can put Flame Rose off balance. Flame Rose is able to get a win here, though. I feel like if it's able to stay a little bit more mobile and not get chipped away in the center, then Flame Rose does a little bit better same spin. That little bit of height difference between Requiem and Flame Rose really hurts Flame Rose, though, and it ends up losing here. So, same spin, I will say that Requiem, I think, is probably a bit better. So here we are going to switch the spin direction of Flame Rose to right spin, and Spriggan will stay in left spin. So we will see if Requiem can actually win spin stealing, which is really, it's one of its big gimmicks. So Flame Rose is able to eke by another win here. I'm not gonna lie, I really expected this matchup to be a little bit more challenging than it ended up being, but I won't say that I'm not happy with the results so far. So Flame Rose is able to take a second win in a row, going into the last round. So Flame Rose takes the third round in a row. Overall, Flame Rose did substantially better in opposite spin matchups, but same spin seemed to do a little worse. Hey guys, so thanks for watching the video. Really quick, I just wanted to say a couple things. This video is not about whether or not Plastic Gen is better than Burst, or Burst is better than Plastic Gen, or any of that. I see a lot of sort of comments and sort of dialogue in the community about sort of gen elitism. It's one thing to have a favorite generation. That's perfectly fine. I would say like Plastic Gen is my favorite generation. But I see a lot of things, a lot of comments about how Burst is better than Plastic Gen, or Metal Fight's better than Burst, or X is better than, you know, X, Y, and Z. And there's an assumption in the Beyblade community that the newest thing is always the best. And I'm not sure why that is, because it doesn't happen in a lot of other franchises. If you look at, like, Pokemon, for example, if you were to only have ever played the newest Pokemon game and said, oh, all the other games are bad because this one's the newest, or this one's better because it's the newest, or whatever, there's a bit of a logical fallacy there, I feel like. Just because something is older doesn't mean that it's not as good, or even had some better features or better elements to it, to the design, to the gameplay, as what came after. I don't know why it happens so much in Beyblade. I just don't see it that much in other franchises, but I kind of wanted to address it really quick. It's okay to have a favorite generation. It's okay to like Burst the best, or to like Metal Fight the best, or to like Plastic Gen the best. But to say, oh, my gen is better because they're bigger, or because they're heavier, or because they're metal, or because, you know, whatever, they have bit beasts, or that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And I encourage everybody who is into Beyblade, whether you got in at Metal Fight or got in at Burst or are getting into it during X, go back and consume the previous generations. Some of them are really good, like the Plastic Gen, especially if you're into the anime side of it. The Plastic Gen anime I would consider to be the best as of right now. And there's a lot of elements to the system that I think are really good. Same thing with Metal Fight. I think the Metal Fight system did a lot of really interesting things. I think Zero G was really interesting. A lot of people, feel like that's an underappreciated generation. I mean, it's sort of like a 1.5 of Metal Fights, not necessarily like a complete new system, but there's a lot of interesting things done in every generation. It's good to appreciate all of them. As far as the anime goes, I have a preference for Plastic Gen over the others, but that's not to say that I don't enjoy the other gens. I've been to Metal Fight tournaments, I've been to Burst tournaments, I haven't been to X tournaments yet, but soon. But I enjoy consuming stuff from every generation because I like the franchise as a whole. And for anybody that has not consumed the previous gens or the gens after, I recommend that you guys try it out. I feel like there's a lot of cool stuff from every gen, including Burst, including X. X I think is one of my favorites over the past several years. I think X is doing a really cool job, but I just want to say, I know it's fun to sort of debate which generation you like the best and for what reasons or whatever, but I don't think it should be at the detriment of other fans or other generations. It's cool to have gripes, it's cool to say this is a major problem or whatever, that's totally fine. But I don't think you should dismiss entire generations because you grew up with one generation and you just don't feel like branching out. It's good to experience all of the other gens and to keep up with Takara Tomy. It's how we keep the hobby alive, is to A, keep up with the newest stuff, and B, it's just good to know where the franchise came from. So yeah, that's all I had to say. Again, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you guys haven't subscribed, I'd appreciate that. Hit the like for the algorithm, drop a comment, letting me know what you think of this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. And just really quickly, a big shout out to our patrons, PJC92, Jotomo, Lucario, Evoe8, Sammy, Roboto, and C. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. Thank you everybody else for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. I appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next one.